Pokket here for MMORPG, bringing you my impressions of the Guild Summit and Patch 1.2. Now, I did kind of a review, or my impressions of the Guild Summit itself, stating what I liked, what I didn't like, what I thought worked, and what didn't work. And this video is basically going to cover the content that was announced in the Guild Summit, as well as on their website via forums and videos, etc. So in Patch 1.2, Bioware actually announced a lot of changes and content that is to be released. These were covered both at the Guild Summit and in a video put on the website. I'm going to use the video for footage while discussing each of these topics. There is a new war zone called Navarre Coast. I didn't actually get hands-on because I had to sit behind someone while they played and I watched them. Now, despite not getting some hands-on myself and just having to watch someone else play, I did get quite a feel for the actual map itself. I felt the layout seemed to work really well, and it wasn't too much running between the points. I would compare it to Alderaan, probably. The concept of the map is a lot like, for me, League of Legends Dominion, where you capture and hold 2, and it ticks up or down. In this case, ticks down on the enemy side. And if one person, or both teams have 1, then it doesn't tick down at all. So that's certainly, it's going to be interesting to see how effective that is, especially in SWTOR, because this basically, it's not Dominion, it's an actual MMORPG, so I really would like to see how this works. Those comebacks are going to be amazing. There is also a new operation that's going to be released called Explosive Conflict. This is something that a lot of raiding guilds are extremely excited for, because it is going to drop the next tier of gear, Tier 2. Now, with the Explosive Conflict, the new operation, it's interesting because one thing they mentioned in the Guild Summit is that they are going to make it harder, because one thing the complaints they've had from current raiders is that it's not hard enough. And so they are making it harder, and they're going to be testing on the PTS shard, which is really good because they didn't have that capability before, because basically the game hadn't been released yet, so they didn't have a PTS shard. Another thing is they're making the loot different between Nightmare mode and Hard mode, and that's good for raiding because basically there'll be more gearing up towards that, and so it'll give raiders more to do. Also, the story mode is for casuals, and that's exciting not for hardcore raid guilds, but it is going to be exciting for people who don't necessarily want to raid. They don't want to pug, they don't want to pug and waste their time doing all that. They just want to run through and get the story and be done with it. And so I think that what they're doing with this operation is actually really, really good, and I'm really excited for it. The Lost Island Flashpoint is a continuation of the current Flashpoint, Kaon Under Siege. I did get to play a little bit of this. Well, I got to play the last boss, and I will admit that I had quite a bit of fun. So with the new Flashpoint, The Lost Island, I didn't get to play through all the bosses from start to finish. I only got to play the last boss, but I did get to see all of the setting, and the setting is very what you would think of the Lost Isle, or Island. And it's the continuation of the Rat Ghoul story in Kaon Under Siege. And from what I gathered, at least while I was playing, is that the setting's cool again, and it is a lot of fun. There is a lot of story still behind it. And getting to the last boss, now in regards to how difficult it was, we were told that we were in some very good gear, like you couldn't get better gear. And it was on normal mode. And let's just say we wiped like 7 or 8 times on normal mode. Next, we have the Legacy system. Now, this is something that there's barely anything of. Basically, all you can do right now is level up your Legacy. But in 1.2, you're going to get a slew of things to do with Legacy. Amongst these things are family trees, Legacy unlocks, Legacy abilities, species unlocks, and I can only imagine that there'd be a few unmentioned things. Now, with the new Legacy system stuff, it's basically a bunch of side stuff to do whenever you don't really have a raid to do, or you don't want to do war zones or whatever. It's a bunch of side stuff to collect. It actually promotes the re-rolling of alts, and for someone like me, the Legacy system certainly pays off in re-rolling alts, because now not only does it contribute to one character, but it contributes to all characters. I mean, there will be things that you unlock for individual characters, but I think that, you know, having the family tree and establishing sort of, you know, the heritage of all your characters, and then being able to unlock races to the other faction is a lot of fun. The heroic moments sound like they could be extremely overpowered in open world PvP where companions are allowed, but it certainly would help people leveling up, I guess. And thank goodness they're only usable with a companion. So I look forward to the legacy system. I have so many alts that I already have a decent level in legacy, so it'll pay off to us that are already rolling alts. I'm not going to lie when I say that one of the things I'm the most excited about is the UI customization that's coming in patch 1.2. Now, UI customization was definitely needed, an in-game one, and I'm glad that I don't have to get add-ons and install them and then update them every time. I am really excited that the UI customization will be in the game in 1.2. I look forward to that so I can make it like previous games that I've played, including WoW and Rift, where I could do that. And I got to toy around a little bit with it, like I said, while playing the Flashpoint, and I pretty much could do what I wanted. You could hide elements, you could resize them, you could move them around. You couldn't add more bars, but right now what I have is a decent amount of bars, so I'm not really worried about that. There were a few things missing, like I'd like to remove the exit area when you're in a Flashpoint from the map, and just certain picky things, and hiding the portraits, I kind of find those messy. Maybe a little more healer options on the operation frames would be cool. But other than that, I mean, I was really satisfied with the fact that they're adding it in is really good. In patch 1.2, the pre-season of Rated War Zones will be available to play. Now, ranked war zones were something that was moderately talked about in the Guild Summit, but not so much in the video. It wasn't really shown. There wasn't much shown about ranked war zones. In fact, I think it was tagged at the end when they showed like 2 seconds of everything. And I'm excited for ranked war zones. I think it's going to bring a lot of the PvPers back who are sort of waiting. They got to Battle Master and beyond pretty quickly after launch, and so they just sort of it's not that they quit the game, it's just that they sort of play a lot less now because they're looking for more. I'm excited to see how the ranked war zones play out. It is the preseason, so I imagine that they're going to be doing a lot of tuning to the ranked, and so it'll be interesting where it goes. Another thing that was discussed a lot in the Guild Summit, but not necessarily shown in the video, is a lot of things that are coming to the guild system. There's quite a few options that are coming to guild leaders, and there's also guild banks coming. Now, the guild changes that are coming, my cat keeps grabbing food and eating really loudly. The guild changes that are coming are also pretty exciting for guild leaders, because right now the guild page itself is kind of bare. There's not much to do, and there's no way of organizing events within the actual guild window. And so that's coming, the calendar and the guild bank, which is amazing, and I can't wait to have a guild bank. It's needed. And then the fleet ship, or the guild ships. Oh, the guild capital ships. That's going to be exciting as well. I look forward to seeing what they're going to be adding with the guild capital ships, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for the guild changes that are coming. I think it's really going to add to the guild and make it a lot more accessible and easy to organize things and to get your guild members together. Now, of course, there are many other things I didn't cover, and there are some things that are coming that I am excited for or not so much excited for. Obviously, new role-playing emotes. I'm very excited for spamming those at people. Just kidding. New vehicles. Of course, I'm one of those people who loves to collect the mounts, so I always like to get the new vehicles. But also, one thing I'm not excited for is the new mod system, where you can take out the mods of the tier 2 gear and put it into something that is moddable. Outro!